People who were given a lot of flexibility in their work often worked from work, but most people didn't. You'd go to work and work at work until you went home. And that's become a problem, of course, with a pandemic, particularly where, if you take the example of a university, the sheer number of students means that we can't all be in the building at the same time as we once were. So people are being timetabled to come in for an hour or two, maybe do some teaching if that's allowed and possible, but then head home again. So they're working at work for a very limited amount of time. But actually what they're doing is they're working from work most of the day, because they're checking in, they're at work for a period of time, and then they're heading off somewhere. It can get a bit confusing to think about, well, they're then heading off home, but they're kind of working at home. But what they're really doing is they're working from home then, because they're still available, they're still behaving as if they were at work, they're around for meetings, people need to talk to them and so on. So they're doing the same kind of work as much as possible as if they were at the office, but they're at home. So just to make that clear, working at work is when you go to work and you do all your hours and you come home, and your main place of work for the whole day, in fact your only place of work is your desk, your office, your production line, wherever you happen to be working. Working from work, which some people did do, is where you actually go to work, but then you head off somewhere else. And flexible workers might actually head off to meetings. They might be salespeople going off to client meetings off-site. Other people in creative industries sometimes will go to a cafe to do some writing or some design work, and they just put their laptop out, and you'll see more and more of those. And as cafes have opened in coronavirus times, you may see that as well. Working from work is where you might still see work as your home base, and you'll spend some time there, but you'll head off somewhere. It gets slightly complicated that the place now that people head off is to home, and then they work from home. So working from work creates some challenges and opportunities. In organisations, businesses where people can't be at work all day anymore, it could be, if there's some possibility, that they're still able to get to their desk or get to their workplace to do something that is important to their work or the organisation's work, but then they find somewhere else, or they're given somewhere else to work that will be safer, that will be enabling more social distancing and so on, because it may simply not be possible. So I think working from work is going to become more and more the standard for a lot of people. Particularly while we're in these difficult times of social distancing. But we have to design that, we have to make it possible. Work scheduling becomes really important. But also all of that social stuff about when people are in at the same time, people may be in at different times. So we might need to augment working from work if colleagues are working from work somewhere else, to enable them to meet up at least virtually. So working from work becomes a new kind of model. It becomes a place of only working for a period of time in the physical workplace, and then finding alternative places to work, having the home probably as, at least in the short term, the place that we're going to go to.